Glad tidings, the rapscallions. It is episode 8 of It's Okay to Suck and Start Again. So this is, as you can see, my hair is absolutely horrendous. I have just come back from the gym. Now, the whole point about this is okay to suck and start again. There's no fancy editing. There's no bells and whistles because life, it can't be edited. We have to go through life and we either look up to our mistakes or we realise that, well, we'll just avoid them. We'll just push them down and we'll pretend that they never happened and we'll blame everybody else. But here in my life, in my YouTube channel, because it's my YouTube channel and I do what I want to do on my YouTube channel. So basically, like I say, there's no bells and whistles, no fancy editing. What you see is what you get. In this case, you see a sweaty middle-aged man who's just come back from the gym and an hour's walk, because I'm also a tubby middle-aged man. Right, so on that note, I am also on day 17 since I have decided to go back to Australia, and during this time I have been getting all my stuff together, getting everything together and getting ready to go. Right, unfortunately I may have hit a snag in the road, all boys and girls. Basically what's happened is I have been doing hairdressing and barbering for, well, a lot longer than I haven't. So I started hairdressing when I was 17. It will be 27 years this year since I did it. So basically, since I started, and I've been qualified for 25 years. Now, I have done many marvellous things with my hairdressing career, but throughout my hairdressing career, for most of it, I used to quite enjoy and quite partial to being a drunk and buffoon, and I had a little drinky poo problem that hindered me. Now, I have spoke about this. If this is the first time you are seeing It's Okay to Suck and Start Again, that is okay. You can go back to the start, you can start from all the beginning, and I'll tell you all about how it all began, why I'm doing this, what my aim is to do with it. It's okay to suck and start again, because I do, like I say, I do believe we live in a far too polished world now. Everybody's going to be this, that and the other, and we're rolling our little boxes and everybody's arguing about this, that and the other, and I just want to be a voice of reason in the realms of the chaos that is being created through social media. Now, you know, consistency is key. Numbers are something that I've got to keep doing. I don't get a lot of views on this, so if you do feel like, I don't know, everything I've said so far is resonating with you a little bit, then it would be really, 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 really good if you could hit the subscribe button, hit the like, maybe share, tell a friend. But at the moment, I'm just documenting my journey or my process of trying to move back to Australia. Now, I have lived in Australia twice previously. That is the good thing about being a hairdresser stroke barber. It is a demand trade over there. The downfall to this is I am not getting any younger. I've got 17 months today for this to come off. So I have up until October, basically, to, otherwise the age points get wiped and it makes it very, very difficult to get in. Now, like I say, I do have 27 years in the hairdressing industry, qualified for 25, worked as a barber for the last 14. So I can cut women's hair, I can cut men's hair, but predominantly I've been cutting men's hair now. And I keep trying to go back into hairdressing, and it keeps going wrong. And then I kind of realise that doing barbering it's a simple life, it's a peaceful life. And the shop that I'm in now, I've been in for 3 years, which has never happened before. In fact, I've never lived in one area, one house, for 4 years, and that's exactly where I'm at today. Actually, I have lived here for 4 years today. So there's a lot of sort of like little things. It's also my parents' 30th anniversary today as well, so you know, there's something about this magic number today, like number 18, and it is an actually strong number in numerology if you're into that kind of thing. 1 and 8, 1 being the, you know, an angel number, 8 being the infinity number. Anyway, before we go all hippie jazz and all that, so basically now, like I say, I've got 17 months to get this under the way, and hopefully I can do this. I believe I can, and because it's difficult, I'm working twice as hard. Now, the problem I've got, now, normal people will work in one job and they'll stay in one job for a consistent period enough to like be able to like do CVs that don't look like mine, and they'll have, they'll play by the rules and they'll do that. And I, like I say, I had a little problem with the old booze, which meant I either got sacked or I walked out in a huff, or I'd quit jobs, I'd go out on nights out, and I'd just not turn back up for work. I'd just go and get my stuff and that'd be it. Or I'd walk out jobs halfway through the day. I'd just basically, because like I say, I'm not saying I'm the most amazing person at doing my job, but I'm pretty good at it. So I tick the right boxes. I know what to say in interviews and things like that. Now, like I say, this is the first time in my entire career that I have worked consecutively in one place for 3 years, which amazes me really. But I think this is sort of like a byproduct of that certain period of time that we call the global P word, because for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't like you to talk about the global P word very much, and it sort of hinders your views and things like that, which also blows my mind, quite a lot, considering during the global P word, media couldn't get enough of telling you about it and telling you how bad it was and stuff like that. But I have had that has given me a massive reset. Now, although I have been doing my job and I've been working it as a barber stroke hairdresser for most of my career, I have had little side quests. I've worked on building sites, I've worked in warehouses, I've worked in bars, I've done youth work more recently, and I still dip my toe in that on a Monday. I haven't done it for the last few Mondays because the person I work with has been away, and next week is obviously bank holiday Monday, so this last month I haven't done that. However, I'm still in contact with the company that I used to work, well, the charity that I used to work with, and that is also on my CV, because I do eventually want to go back into it. But now, because I have a final year of a degree to do, it just works out better if I'm self-employed, and I can sort of work what hours I want. I can take days off if I want. I don't have to talk to anybody about it. I just go, I'm not working today. All right, me, that's fine. So I don't even have to consult the person who owns the shop if I don't want to. I do, because it's just polite, isn't it? It's polite. It's nice to have manners, and I was brought up that manners don't cost anything and can buy you a lot of things if you use them in the right manner. Anyhow, so the journey thus far, so basically, like I say, I've hit a bit of a stumbling block, and that's kind of okay. I've tried that. The other issue I've got is because Trades Recognition Australia are based in Australia, and as a result, we have a 9-hour time difference, which makes it very, 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 very difficult to make phone calls to Australia and ask them questions. Now, I've put an inquiry form in, and I was hoping that they'd get back to me, but I do also understand that the world does not stop and halt for me, and just because I've decided just over 2 weeks ago that I want to go and do something, but like I say, I have been working on getting references. I'm also looking at getting things like tax returns. Like, I've got to do last year's tax return today, so, well, I'm not going to do it today because I can't bother, but like, I'll probably do it tomorrow. So I'll do it tomorrow, and then I'll have 3 years worth of tax returns. Now, that does give me consistency on my application, but it just takes me off a couple of years of what I would like to have. Now, the question I would like to ask them is, because I qualified in 2001, I got my MVQ level 2, which is, you know, in hairdressing back in level, you know. So do they consider that, like, you know, as you know, like, rather than because I can only really put down this job because I can only substantiate the evidence with this. Like, there's only this amount of evidence I've got, like the three. But even though I have worked in a lot of different places now, like I say, I've also worked in Australia last time, and I've got a tax return for that, so I can put that down as well. So, but the problem is I don't have any wage slips or other things, you know, which makes that even harder. So there's all these questions that I really need to ask before I apply, because it is actually about £400 to apply for the trades recognition assessment, and obviously that is a lot of money if it doesn't come through or you fail it. Now, I'm well aware, like, that I have enough experience and I have got sufficient proof for so many things, but unfortunately with a lot of it I can't back it up. Now, when I was going through my sponsorship, I was going through a visa agent, and it has sort of come to me that maybe this wouldn't be a bad idea to consult a visa agent and just see what they say. But I'm going to think about that, because unfortunately visa agents cost a lot of money, and to be quite frank, I feel like I can do this by myself, but I've just got to work out this little issue. Now, nothing worth having came easy, right? And this is me talking about my situation and things like that. But a lot of people won't do things because they get to this point and they go, oh, well, I might as well not bother. And that's unfortunate, isn't it? Because we sort of, as humans, we get to like these hard things where we're like, oh, no, I really want to do this. Now, one thing that I've come in to learn as I've got a little bit older and a little bit more mature is I am a solution-based person. So if people start, you know, saying they want to do this, that, and the other, my automatic go-to is to try and help people and try and help them create a game plan, you know, like how I want to do this. So like in my head, I'm like, well, I can help you with that because I know loads of different people from, because the one good thing about doing my job is I talk to people from all sorts of walks of life, all sorts of classes, ages and whatnot, and people who know so much. And it is just like, it's almost like having an internet in a chair where you can kind of go, oh, I know such and such, you know, it's great for networking. And the barbershop is a really good place for, you know, because all people need haircuts. It doesn't matter, you know, like I say, a lot of the time when I put my cutting cape over somebody, they are ahead, so they doesn't matter what clothes they're wearing, they're still paying me the same price as the last person who was sat in my chair. So at the end of the day, everybody gets treated exactly the way they should do when they're sitting in my chair, and that is with my own unique way of crazy hairdressing and chat. Like, obviously you have different conversations and you alter the things that you say to people. I wouldn't sort of, you know, I am quite a conspiracy theorist and I have all these little sort of things that are going off in my head. Anyway, so like I say, at the minute it's trying to find, I've just got to keep being consistent. I've got, like I say, I've got 17 months. I would like to have this trades recognition assessment boxed off, well, at least applied for by the end of this month. Like, that's because I'd like to think that I'm going to go back, like it says between 8 to 12 months to get a decision from the visa office, but there's other things I have to do, like English test, which it is what it is, you know, obviously being English and coming from this country and growing up in this country and it being my first language. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean I am super, like, when it comes to sort of that side of it. So there's that. And then you've got you know, you've got to do a police record, which again, I'll pass because I have always wanted to live in Australia. I've tried twice before, so I've always kept my nose clean. Not that I would like just go out and commit crime anyway, but like there's been times where I could have done things that aren't, you know, I know people and people know me and things like that, you know what I mean? I could have done certain things, but I chose not to because, well, you sleep better when your money's honest, don't you? But like I say, I now need to work out how I'm going to overcome this sort of like, because I in an ideal world, I want maximum points for my trade, and having over 5 years experience will get me that. And then, you know, having a good English score will get me that. So between those two things, I would get 30 points, I think, or 35. If I get like superior English, that would be like 35 points, which means then you get 15 points for the visa itself, because it's a trades regional skilled nominated visa. So that's 40 points. So then that's 25 points I need. I can't remember what other, the other side of 25 points comes. My age, I get 10 points. So there we go. That's fit. I can't remember. I've got experience working in Australia. That's another 5 points. But like I say, without all this, you know, without all the being able to substantiate all my claims and stuff like that, I might fall short. But look, like I say, I've got to try. This is the thing. It's not so much that I know I'm definitely going to do it. It's definitely going to happen. It could fall flat on my face. I could fall flat on my face, and it could go really, really wrong. But at least I know that I gave it my best shot and I tried to sort of get there, because my big mantra in life is you only get one ticket to the theme park of life. And it's entirely up to you how you spend your time in the theme park, whether you want to go on the spinning teacups, whether you want to go on the carousel or whatever. But it's also, you know, I want to go on the thrill seekers. I want to get to the end of whatever year I perish. I want to get to that. I want to, you know, and hopefully, you know, I can lay back and just go, do you know what? That was one hell of a ride. I enjoyed it. I didn't leave anything out on the field. I came to play. And you know, I have a handful of regrets, and I'm sure I'll talk about them one day. But I don't want this to be added to them. And this is what I've tried to get. Like, I use anecdotal things to try and help people resonate. Like, and this is a big thing for people with neurodiversity. We look to sort of like look at people, and when we sort of like butt in and tell them a story about, oh, well, I had this situation, but it's just so that you know that we understand. And that's one thing that I like, you know, we get torn apart for, unfortunately. But however, you know, like I say, I have been doing shorts. I am documenting this day to day. So if you are interested in potentially moving to another country yourself, and you want to kind of just get an insight to what it's like, especially when you're above 40. Now, if you're under 30, or you even at 35, I think you can get a holiday visa if you've never had one and stuff like that. You can still go and stuff, you know, there are opportunities and things like that. Now, I just need to do what I do best and find a solution, and just work within the cracks and within the realms of maybe the impossibility. You know what sometimes it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And if you can do it and you can find little ways of doing something a bit different, I know that they need hairdressers and barbers, but I also know they are very bureaucratic. So I don't know if there's a bit of leniency because you're looking to go to a regional area where they need skilled workers for certain things. So join me on this quest. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to hopefully talking to you more about this. It'd be great if you could subscribe. And if you can't, well, never mind. Toodle pip. Goodbye. See you later. Adios.